You're a successful founder or executive. You've got the title, the team, the travel schedule to prove it. On the outside, you look like you're winning. The business is thriving. The team respects you. You are the glue. You're the one who always delivers. But inside, you're exhausted. You're resentful. You're barely holding it together. This is the trap. So many women leaders are giving 110% while quietly falling apart behind the scenes. And today I want to show you why that happens and the principles that I teach my clients to reclaim their energy, their clarity, and their ability to actually enjoy what they've built. So this exhaustion, this resentment, this barely hanging on by a thread, but making it all look really good from the outside, that all becomes a thing of the past. I'm Megan Arneson, a trauma-informed executive coach and founder of Fuck the Hustle. Since way back in 2009, I've helped hundreds of high-achieving women, founders, executives, consultants, stop overextending themselves and start leading from a place of wholeness and sovereignty. So let's dive in. Most women at this level are unknowingly running in survival mode, not because they're weak, but because it's the only way their bodies have learned to keep going. Here's what's crazy though. Sometimes survival mode is totally undetectable because it looks like raving success on the outside, the revenue, the contracts, the speaking invitations. But your body knows the truth because behind the scenes, you're running on fumes. Brain fog, hormonal chaos, chronic fatigue, emotional numbness that maybe you don't want to admit out loud. That's not thriving. That's surviving. And if you're nodding your head right now, I created this really beautiful in-depth guide called Fuck the Hustle, Fix Your Energy that'll give you the tools to walk your way right out of this loop. And it's free. You can grab a copy below and start right now. It'll walk you through the exact steps to interrupt the high-achieving survival pattern before it tanks your health, your relationships, or your business. So grab it down below. And now let's talk about what to do instead. A few days ago, a very senior marketing executive asked me, Megan, how do you use peak performance principles in your own day? And I laughed because the first time I heard that phrase, peak performance, I thought it was just another hustle hack, another shiny productivity scheme all about packing more into your day. I was totally wrong to judge it by the name. It is more about flow than anything. Peak performance principles aren't about doing more. They're about creating the conditions where your energy, your focus, and your creativity are sustainable long term. Ding, 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 ding. That is exactly what Fuck the Hustle is all about. So let's walk through the 7 principles and I'll show you real examples of how they look in practice. And stick with me because as we go through these, you're going to see they flip the hustle playbook completely on its head. So the first is energy management wins over time management. Everyone is obsessed with time management, but your body is the engine. And if you don't take care of it, there is no possible way to get more time. The trick is you must treat rest, nutrition, movement, and nervous system regulation like fuel for that engine. So instead of cramming more into my schedule, I match my most demanding tasks to the time of day when my energy is naturally highest. For me, that's first thing in the morning. So no matter what, the thing that I do first thing in the morning is the thing that gets done the best. That's when I'm sharpest. So that's when I do my heaviest lifting. Everything after that is gravy, in my opinion. So I love the question from Mike Michalowicz in The One Thing. What is the one thing that I can do right now that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? And then I go do that one thing, and then I feel accomplished, and then I have momentum to keep moving on to the next one thing. So, how are you fueling yourself, and when is your energy the highest? And what is your one thing? Got it? Good. Now, the next principle is the one that saves you when things get hard. And that is being super clear on your purpose. So if you don't know why you're doing something, you will not sustain it. For me, clarity of purpose isn't just about goals, it's about identity and values. So when challenges hit, and they always do, having that deeper why is what keeps us in the game. One of my clients was ready to throw in the towel after losing a major deal. She literally told me she was ready to go back to an accounting job that she absolutely hated because she was so sick of feeling rejected. But when she reconnected with her deeper why, which was all about showing her daughter what was possible for women, she found the fuel to keep going. And she started restoking that fire every morning, reminding herself of her why. And she landed her absolute dream client the very next month. So every day before you sit down and dive in, it really helps to reconnect to your bigger vision. Ask yourself, what do I want and why do I want this? And get in the feeling of it. Feel it with all five senses. And then get to work and notice what happens with your energy when you start your day like this versus however you were doing it before. And by the way, this five senses deep desire work is the stuff that we do inside the Fuck the Hustle private membership. So if this is resonating and you want to come see what it's all about, the doors are open and the link's in the description. Okay, principle number 3 is about focus and deep work. Peak performers guard their attention like gold. I structure my day so that I can single task because multitasking is not a thing, despite the fact that it was a required skill in every job description in the early 2000s. And you know you're in the right place if you actually remember that. Anyway, I intentionally create space for flow states. That is when we get our best work done. And it's also when it feels the most effortless. So when I wrote The Hustle Trap, I turned off every notification, blocked 3-hour time chunks, and wrote 3,000 words at a time in flow. Compare that to the days when I attempted to do hashtag all the things, answering WhatsApp, Slack, checking LinkedIn, writing in 10-minute sprints. At the end of the day, you feel like you have accomplished nothing. So the key is batching all the messaging and admin. I set a timer and I do Pomodoro sessions for that. It is the only way that I stay sane. And I highly recommend you look up Pomodoro sessions if you don't know what I'm talking about. They are stupid simple, but magic at the same time. Now, here's the one thing that shocked me the most, and it's the opposite of what we have all been taught. The radical one. Rest isn't lazy, it is a strategy. Now, I have another video specifically on that, so go watch that one if you want more details. But short naps, shavasana, these things are magic. Staring out the window time is a recipe for brilliance. Walking in nature without headphones resets your whole body mind. I ignored this for years. Probably you too, or you wouldn't be watching this. I was so proud of how long I could grind because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. That's what I thought I had to do to be successful, to be valuable, to be worthy, until my body finally shut down and I got sick. And I'm not talking like a cold. I'm talking burnout. I'm talking all out adrenal failure. I'm talking all kinds of whacked out autoimmune symptoms. that no Western medical doctor could figure out. Of course, they just wanted to put me on pharmaceuticals, which would have masked the symptoms and never actually gotten to the root cause. More on what I had to do to heal in another video. But now I build recovery into my calendar on purpose. Sleep, yes, but it's more than that. Downtime, nervous system resets, reflection, movement, just regular old meditation. And guess what? That's when my best ideas show up. The break is part of the work. Let me say that again in a different way. The break is the work. And by creating space for it and taking it seriously, it will make you way more efficient than if you skip it. Okay, let's talk about adaptability and having a growth mindset. Listen, I love planning. I was a born planner. I used to be an event planner. I was really good at my job. Every time we go anywhere, everybody looks at me to be in charge of the when, the where, the how, and all the contingencies. Plans are great, except in business, as in life, plans rarely go exactly to plan. I mean, every plan looks good on paper until life happens. There are so many variables and so many circumstances beyond our control. So the question is, how do you handle yourself when things don't go to plan? Do you dig your heels in and insist that it's your way or the highway? One founder that I coached lost her biggest client. It ruined her whole plan, all her projections for the year. She could have spiraled. Instead, she reframed it as data. She pivoted her offer and she signed 2 new, smaller clients in a totally different industry who actually allowed her to test a new framework that she had been hesitant to try and didn't dare with that big client. So when things don't go to plan, we have to stay flexible. We have to stay ready to open and learn so that we can review the data and adjust quickly instead of getting stuck. The mindset shift is to see challenges as data instead of roadblocks. But if you find yourself being reactive, then you know that you have some work to do around emotional resilience. And you know where to find me if you're ready to have a conversation about it. Okay, systems and habits. Boring, boring, boring. But I know, listen, willpower is so overrated. We have to start relying on structures, systems, and daily rituals. Peak performance isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about building small, consistent habits that stack up over time. Micro wins create momentum, and momentum creates results. Structures are the guardrails, the boundaries that make your decisions easier, like having a hard stop at 6 p.m. so that your work doesn't bleed into every corner of your life. Systems are the repeatable processes that remove the friction, like batching all your client calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays so that you're not constantly context switching every day of the week. And then the daily rituals are the anchors that signal safety and focus to your nervous system, like a morning walk without your phone or 5 minutes of breath work before a big meeting. These are tiny resets that train your body to feel safe in rhythm instead of in chaos. I use a really simple evening shutdown ritual. I write down tomorrow's top 3. I shut down my iMac and I leave my phone in another room. And that habit has improved my sleep so dramatically. And then the energy carries straight into my mornings. So take a moment to think about the structures, systems, daily rituals that you have in place. Do a mini audit and figure out what needs to go, what needs to be reinforced, and what needs to be added. And the last one, this is the amplifier, the principle that 10x's all the others. This is, of course, you know it was coming, emotional intelligence and presence. They go hand in hand. At the end of the day, leadership isn't about the hard skills. It's about how you show up. It's the energy that you bring into the room with you that everyone can feel. I used to believe in fake it till you make it. I really thought that I was a super good actress. I had no idea that other people could sense my hesitation, my lack of confidence. Now, listen, most people have no idea what they're sensing. Most people are not that sensitive. And that's why I thought I was doing such a good job. But whether they're conscious of what they're feeling or not, it's a vibration that has a ripple effect. So keep in mind that no matter what your energy state, people can feel it. They can sense that something's off. And that's why everybody around us is so freaked out right now. There's the obvious reasons. And then there's the fact that all of our energies are bouncing off each other and creating a huge clusterfuck in the collective consciousness. And that, again, is a whole nother video in itself, isn't it? One founder I used to work with confessed to snapping at her team under pressure. It's not uncommon. And it wasn't just expressing frustration. This had some sharp energy behind it. And it wasn't so much what she said, it was how she said it. And she felt incredibly guilty. I remember her saying over and over again, that is not who I am. So, of course, we did the emotional release practice, big, heavy sessions at first, but then she started doing it on her own every morning to clear the energy. She even got to the point of catching herself in the moment and having the presence to let her emotional energy run through her without holding it in and without trying to make it go away. She said the difference between reacting and responding felt like night and day. And a month later, her team said she was like a completely different person. So when people ask me about peak performance, my answer is simple. It's about working with your body, your energy, and your values so that you can show up consistently at your best without burning out. Reclaiming your energy right now is not a luxury. It is imperative if you're going to continue to grow as a leader and if you're going to build the resilience needed to weather the crazy ass storms that are ahead of us. And if you've been praised for being so strong while secretly unraveling behind the scenes, this is your invitation to start a new pattern of leadership. So if this is landing and you're ready for more than surface level fixes, then book a recalibration call with me. It's a place where we can explore what shifts when you stop leading from survival mode and start leading from sovereignty. We'll look at your energy, your patterns, your leadership, and we will chart a new path forward. One that does not require you to sacrifice your health, your relationships, or your joy. The link's below. And of course, until the next time, make love, not hustle.